pleased to dwell. 15th day of our walk through this Christmas book, but really walk through the Bible to see what the Christmas story holds for us. And we're in Luke chapter 1, and we get to the place where Gabriel comes to Mary to announce to Mary that she is going to be the mother of the Christ. And so what a powerful moment that is. And of course, she's given the kind of introductory comments, and she's told that her child will be great and will sit on David's throne and so on. And Mary said to the angel, "How will this be, since I am a virgin?" And the angel answered her, "The Holy Spirit will come upon you. The power of the Most High will overshadow you. Therefore the child to be born will be called Holy, the Son of God. And behold, your relative Elizabeth, in her old age, has also conceived a son, and this is the 6th month with her who was called barren, for nothing will be impossible with God." And so here's the angel's answer to Mary's very understandable question. And there's some quite specific technicalities, if you like, in terms of, okay, what's the mechanism as a virgin? How do I get pregnant? And the angel says, okay, so we've got the Holy Spirit coming upon you, the power of the Most High overshadowing you. Therefore, this is who the child will be, the Son of God. And a little detail at the end as well, nothing will be impossible with God. Okay, so really reaffirming or affirming, assuring her that God's able to do this. It's going to be totally a God thing, and you are going to have the Son of God within your womb. Okay, so that's the technical information, if you like, but I'm intrigued by verse 36. The question that Mary asks is kind of, what should we say, gynecological, it's biological, it's practical, it's how's this possible? How's this going to work? I'm a virgin. But in verse 36, the angel gives her a piece of information, knowing that she would ponder and think about these words. She would never forget them. And so maybe the angel wants her to know something quite significant. He points to her relative Elizabeth. Look at this section in here. Verse 36, your relative Elizabeth. Now, Mary would be filled with all sorts of questions, even knowing the technicalities of how the pregnancy is going to occur. Just think of the questions that would be swirling. How can I explain this to my parents? How do I explain this to Joseph? What about the community? That there's nobody I can talk to. If I try to explain it to a friend, that they're not going to believe me. What do I do? How do I act? Where do I go? How do I hide it? So many questions that would be swirling, just practical ones, even though she's accepting that God's plan is this, and she's very accepting, of course, of God's plan. Mary's a great example to us. But the angel says, look, your relative Elizabeth, she's in her old age conceived a son. She's 6 months in. She's probably a good person to talk to about pregnancy and about angels and God and God's plan. And so the angel here, I think, is giving Mary kind of a clue, a bit of a nudge. It's going to get pretty hot around here. It's going to get difficult. Why don't you go visit Elizabeth? Which, of course, she does. And we get that beautiful scene where Elizabeth welcomes and celebrates because of the reaction of John inside her, the Spirit coming upon her. And Mary receives that encouraging, affirming moment from Elizabeth, and probably quite a few weeks of companionship and conversation and encouragement. I love the fact that the angel here, knowing the significance of this moment, I think shows God's care for Mary even in that detail. Here's a quote from the book. Mary was not a great person, but her faith has been a great example to many through the years. Mary herself was not great, but her child was great. This was the mighty Lord of glory stooping down and stepping into the humble world of a weak humanity. God's strength, human frailty, Mary's womb. It's beautiful, beautiful part of the Christmas story. And to see Mary's faithful response, and also to see God's loving care, is really a special moment. We're preparing our hearts for Christmas. Please join us again tomorrow when we will take the next step and we'll see the end of Luke chapter 1 and Zechariah's final outburst as he finally gets to speak. But that's tomorrow. Come back for that.